I think it's really clear what the urgent issue today in 2012. It's 1 million people, young people, who aren't working, who just don't have a future at the moment and are despairing. That's the most urgent issue for business as well. Well, through business in the community, we've been focused on two things that businesses can do and should be doing. The first of those we call work inspiration. It's about getting business people working with educators and working with children to inspire them, to give them an experience of work that actually inspires them in their studies and gets them to really think about what they want to do with their lives. That's the first piece. The second piece, of course, is jobs. Creating jobs, particularly this year, a real focus on apprentices, getting 1 million new apprenticeships in the UK. Well, companies have clearly an opportunity to hire people, but give them not jobs, give them careers. And I think the whole campaign of 1 million new apprentices in 2012 is a real focus for lots of businesses. Big businesses have a role to play in helping some of the smaller businesses as well. It's very easy for big companies like mine, National Grid, who have invested a lot of money in our apprenticeship program. If you only employ 6 people, it's clearly very different. Big businesses can help those small businesses and help them work with city and guilds and the secondary education establishments to work out how small businesses can also hire apprentices. So that's one clear area. But the other area is about helping people understand the different ways to a career and success in life. I personally feel we've got very focused on path A is the only way in which you can be successful. And that's just not the reality. In our economy, we need lots of higher skills in the future. We're going to get that through lots of highly skilled apprenticeships. We're going to get that through people who've come through a technical education, actually, professional technicians, very highly paid specialists, create great wealth in the economy. And of course, we need graduates as well. But to get into schools and help kids understand there are different pathways to success, and they can interestingly all end up in the same place as well. What is the best way for you to be successful? And help really fill this information gap about careers and the sorts of jobs. And if I study this, what does it lead to? If I went down this path, where do I start? Where might it lead? Today, all the evidence is that it's just an enormous void of information. So I see a role for lots of businesses who do it today to help others understand it without any question. And I do think we should take on people into apprenticeships with, of course, a job at the end of it. People often talk about, well, let's just put people in training. I don't personally think that's the right thing to do. So let's also make sure that where we're creating apprenticeships and training schemes, they are because there's a real need for those skills in the workplace. Where you create real value for the individual and of course for the economy are on advanced level 3 apprenticeships. There are some lower level that clearly are stepping stones. We should be very careful not to treat a short-term training program that gets somebody to do a job as a real apprenticeship that's setting them up for something. So being careful about our language, I think, for business is important as well. In 2012, our activities are really very focused indeed. It's all to do with youth unemployment. Two things. The great successful campaign we've had for the last 18 months of work inspiration, with a target of getting 200,000 inspirational work placements for kids with businesses in the next 12 months. Audacious target, but makes a huge difference, we know, to get children a real experience of what work's all about and inspire them. That's why that word work inspiration is so important. And then secondly, a focus on apprenticeships, working with the government, working with educators, the City and Guilds organisation, playing our part, the businesses in BITC, in this big target again of getting 1 million new apprenticeships up and running by summer 2013. So a real focused campaign.